welcome to Sega Does Podcast, episode 12. I am Sam, the Pixel Dude, one of your hosts. Alongside me, virtually to my left, as always, we have the NES Encyclopedia, soon to be the Sega Sorcerer. That is D. Dylan D. Say hi, Dylan.
Oh, hi. We're going so fast.
Silky smooth Sega, Dylan.
Oh,
We're in a mass system now, man. We are 0.56 megahertz quicker than we were last time.
I guess I should get set to hang on, right? See what I did there.
So anyway, last episode was Mark III / Mass System overview, and today we are talking about the first bunch of Mass System games. But first, let's look at the thoughts we had on episode 10.
Yeah, we forgot to mention them last episode. Sorry about that.
It's kind of a special episode.
It was
very special. I'll remember it forever.
Special episode of our lives.
Yes.
And of Sega's whatever. All right. Comments.
Comments. Go on, you say the first one and I shall respond.
Okay. So episode 10, it should be noted, was about the last bunch of SG-1000 games.
Yeah.
But we also had a digression in there where we discussed how much, and we didn't know this about each other. I want to stress that.
No.
I did not know that Sam didn't like The Last of Us.
Very rarely we talk about anything past 1995.
Right. Right. And I think we were both just so stunned that we didn't like it because everybody likes this game that I think that's why we went on about it for a little while. So, but Sean, faithful listener, commenter.
We love you, Sean. Just before we start, we love you, Sean. But
we do. And I do appreciate his opinions and his input.
Oh no, we're not saying you're wrong. We're just, in my mind, I'm right. So
So on the episode 10 post on Sega Does, he said of all the things to comment about, and like I said, we mentioned all the SG-1000 games. The one that drove me here today was I really like The Last of Us on PS4. Has far more gameplay to me than any Resident Evil game I've played, for instance. I don't know about that. I mean, it's his opinion. I'm really enjoying the maps and strategic gameplay, much to my surprise. I mean, if you want to talk about games that are basically movies, try Beyond Two Souls or Heavy Rain.
I hear that.
Yeah, both those games aren't games.
No.
The Last of Us has really been fun for me with the crafting and upgrade paths for weapons and abilities.
That's a straight line as well, Sean.
I'd say the game proper
down. That's called a straight line.
I'd say the game proper doesn't really start until a few hours in, as the starting levels are essentially an extended tutorial.
Yep.
And I've had to turn around plenty in this game.
Really?
So anyway, that's his viewpoint. I respect that. And
no, he's right. I understand why people like it. It's just, it's not really a game.
Yeah.
Don't really know what else to say. It's just not really a game. It's the closest to a game movie I think I've ever seen. Because like Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain, they're not even game movies. They are movies with choices in them. Really.
Right.
The Last of Us, I will admit, it did do something different. Yes, that's right. It did do something different. It did blur the lines, and I think that's why so many people liked it. I think people got so much enjoyment out of it, and they had to put so little into it to get that enjoyment. And I think that's where the love comes from.
Well, and people, I think there's a lot of gamers who are dying for a story that's maybe a little different from the typical shooter gameplay, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that The Last of Us satisfied that for those people, but what I think, and I could be wrong, but I feel like if you follow other media, like television or movies or anything, and I'm not even a huge fan like of movies. I don't see that many. I don't watch a lot
Yeah,
of television,
it's not
but
on
I still
Netflix. I
know.
haven't seen it.
Yeah, but I still, The Last of Us to me, it's like I see so many different elements in different television and movies, and to me, it already feels cliche. Like when it
Yeah,
released, it already felt cliche.
yeah.
And so, whereas Uncharted, yeah, I saw like Indiana Jones and stuff like that, but it was still so fun. Like it still was so. I got swept up in the spectacle of Uncharted, whereas The
Yeah.
Last of Us is just a bleak, raw experience
Hmm.
where I could get that in just about anything else. You know, it's like I don't need to play it.
I think
Uh,
The Last of Us, for me, like the actual storyline, felt so cliche because it watered it down so many times. So it's right. First off, it's a post-apocalyptic game. So you're like, right,
right,
okay, there's a few of these. Then you water it down again because it's about zombies. You're like, okay, there's only so many ways that can go. Then you water
right,
it down again because it's about the cure, and it's like, oh my god, okay. So you go down another stage, and it's you just go down, 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 and you keep doing that, and there's only so many places it can go.
right,
Once you get down to the cure, you either get to the end and you find the cure, or you don't.
right.
And I know The Last of Us isn't necessarily about finding the cure. It's about your relationship with this annoying little 14-year-old girl. But
Yes. Ugh, yeah.
and the fake choice they give you at the end of that game is really, if they really wanted to power that home, they should have given you the choice to let her live or go get her. But
Right.
I think the problem with that is they couldn't have done a sequel because the sequel would have had to have been two games.
Hmm. That's interesting.
So I think they got three-quarters of the way through, and yes, they was going to give you a choice, but they got three-quarters of the way through, and they thought, actually, this is damn good. This is testing well. We know people are going to like this. We know they're going to want a sequel, so we're just going to have a very linear ending because Mass Effect got in so much crap for trying splitting all these paths off in 1 and 2, and then bringing the diamond back around in 3. Like, oh, actually, all those choices we made no difference to the ending whatsoever.
Yeah.
And if they'd done at the end of The Last of Us, if they'd gone right, you either let her die or you carry on, they couldn't have done a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Are they doing a sequel? Like, is that been
Yeah,
announced? They are?
yeah,
Okay. Oh,
and the movie.
I know about the movie. Just it's like it's. I just want to like hold up the movie The Road, and I just want to like put that up and just be like, oh, so this movie was already made
Yeah,
without zombies.
anyway, no,
I don't-
we love you, Sean, but
we look,
we
yeah,
just disagree a little bit.
yeah.
No,
Oh, and
I'm not saying it's the worst game ever made, but it's just the most predictable game I've ever played in a very long time.
yeah, I think that's a good way to put it because obviously it doesn't play poorly. You know, it plays well enough.
Mm.
Well, depends on who. You
Naughty
know,
Dog can't do third-person shooting. They can't. Uncharted's never felt right, and I don't. This is better, but it ain't no Gears of War.
yeah.
Anyway, let's move on because this is a Sega podcast.
Yep. And he does mention he said we did have another great podcast with episode 10.
Oh yeah,
so
we know.
we're not we're not humble at all.
Oh no. Hey, we are trying to envision Sega's Memphis over everybody. So we know we're great. We're Sega, and we're going to tell you we're great.
He says he doesn't see the point of Let's Plays, which was a question we posited to people
That is true.
last time. He said he can maybe argue for a few more screenshots. Well, I my issue, and I haven't actually brought this up with him. So my issue with more screenshots to me is that like at what do I put them in after every paragraph? Like I
There's
think
got to be some
some
continuity, aren't there?
right, and I think maybe better screenshots maybe would be a better way to put it. Maybe screenshots that are a little more representative of the game.
Yeah.
But I think if you want a ton of screenshots, you could go to Google and look them up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. I don't feel the need to take more, but if other people want more, and feel free to comment on this episode. And he says he hopes I have some means to actually play the light gun and 3D games with real peripherals. I agree. I really want to, especially the 3D games.
He will. He'll do it. I know he will.
I'll figure something out.
He's enjoying himself too much.
Yeah. And then Tony Wilkins said, "Hi guys, finally got around to listening to the latest podcast. Dylan, the Crystal Maze was awesome.
Yeah.
As the Master System." Oh, he reblogged my Master System post, which was very nice of him.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So I said thanks, and now we can move on to the actual games.
We can.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. So, first game is Teddy Boy Blues.
Teddy Boy Blues. You have to put the music in there. You have to put the Teddy Boy music.
Okay, Teddy Boy Blues. Let me remind myself. Oh, it's this game. That's the one. Okay, so this is launch game.
Yep.
Wow. Was it only available on the card?
I believe so.
It would make sense.
It would make sense. It's very simple.
Yep.
A very small game.
Mm-hmm. Now then, for your first experience on the Master System, what did we think? Because it confused the hell out of me.
It very much felt like a drug trip.
Damn right. And for
I imagine.
For one main reason, and that reason is, Dylan?
I don't know. Everything. Just, the whole thing.
The stage repeats itself.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's right.
If you go up, down, left, right, yes, it's one of those games. It it literally laps around on itself. So after about 20 seconds, you got no idea where you are.
Yeah, that's absolutely accurate. And you're like, wait a second, is that the top of the screen and now it's at the bottom? Like I don't know. Like I was questioning where I was pretty much at all times until I figured out what the game was doing. But that was very disorienting to say the least. The game itself is not that great. I don't know.
No.
It's okay. It's just very simple, arcadey.
So what I could figure out, you run around as Teddy Boy and you shoot everything, as in the enemies, which vary from loads of different kinds of crap, and you collect up their remains, and then once you've done that, it goes on to the next stage.
Yep.
And that's basically it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. It's called Teddy Boy Blues because Teddy Boy Blues is the name of a song by a pop singer in Japan, and she lent or more realistically, probably her production company lent the lent the song to Sega,
Wow.
and Sega used it as their main theme music for the game, and
Cool.
it's a good song. I enjoy it. But when it was released in America and the UK, it was shortened to Teddy Boy, and they put different music in, which wasn't nearly as interesting. Uh,
Right.
so
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 we have a Mark III score, a Mega Drive, a BB Queen's Mega CD version, and a Game No Kazumi Volume 2. What's
yeah,
that? What are they all about?
so the Mega Drive version, there's just a lot of interesting history for Teddy Boy for some reason, because it's not that it's not good enough game to have so much history, but it does.
Right.
So on the Mega Drive, Sega released an upgraded port uh, of Teddy Boy Blues for game, or more likely Game Toshokan, or maybe it's Game Toshokan, I don't know. But anyway, it was a service that they had only in Japan, and it was a precursor to the Sega Channel. So it allowed Japanese Mega Drive owners the ability to play and download free games exclusive to the service.
Cool.
And this was in 91. So think
Wow.
about that. It's pretty crazy. Um, so the Teddy Boy Blues could only be played via this service. And you can kind of see why it's a free game. I mean, it's the same basic game as the Master System version.
Yeah.
No music, though. I don't know if you got a chance to play this, but
No, not this version, no.
yeah, no music for some reason.
Hmm. Very
Really
strange.
weird. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a pretty mediocre game, really. You gave it a C plus. Pretty underwhelming, let's say.
Yeah.
Um, we got quite a few comments on it though.
Yep.
We did. We have Kirk13. He's back. Wonder where he'd gone.
He is.
So kudos on writing a great article on what seems like not that great of a game. A possible point of interest: Teddy Boys are actually the British version of Greasers. Ah, yes, of Greasers. And from what I've read, they were pretty rough. Yeah, they were pretty rough. That's just like they were like your Greasers, your T-Birds.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So there you go. Probably where that came from. Oh, we got? We got Sean's back again. Wow, for a game I've never played or thought much about. He wrote an awesome review. I guess getting the card version only in the US with different music was underwhelming. That was really in depth with lots of links. So we got the card version in the US, did we?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Hmm. Uh, who's this?
Seb Moraine.
Seb Moraine. Hello, Seb. I've never seen
He's
you before.
from he's from Questicle. It's from
Oh,
the Nintendo blog.
they're starting to come over.
Yeah. Please
Uh,
hurry.
please, please hurry.
I've only been over here for 6 months, so
He
please come over.
don't know why, nostalgia or other bizarre tastes I have, but Teddy Boy is one of my favorite Master System games. Wow. Getting to level 15 is a pain. And then don't do it, Seb. Just say no, man. Just say
Just
no.
say no to the blues.
Just say no. Brett Brown in Sega's 16's review of this game. All right, that must be another reviewing guy. Have you heard of that guy? Sega 16?
Sega 16. Yeah, they're I don't I think they have reviews, but they also just focus a lot on Sega
Stuff.
insight info.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It said that apparently it was a pretty big arcade hit in Japan. Pretty cool. Obviously that would, and he goes on to say, obviously the quality arcade ports that Sega always brought to their systems, and yep, we agree with that.
Very true.
Very true. We have Joshua Stewart. Oh man, the first picture with the dice really seems like a headache, including optical illusions when you scroll down the page. Yep, it screws with your head, this game. It really does. And good old Tony Wilkins. Because my initial thoughts on this when I reviewed it, it was going to be fun, but it quickly became repetitive and my interest turned to frustration. I think this was one of the last of the 1980s games that there are just there for point scoring. That's true. We're starting to get out of the point scoring phase, fad, whatever
Yeah,
you want to call it. Games are starting to get bigger, move on, progress. It says gaming was moving on for that time. Looking forward to seeing more reviews from the guys. Cool. Right. So, Teddy Boy Blues, pretty mediocre start. The next game to talk about, we've kind of already talked about, but we're going to mention
yeah.
it again. It's Hang On.
Hang on
Yeah.
for the Master System.
Mhm.
Yeah. I went ahead, for those that don't know this, for those that read the site regularly, I went ahead and updated the Hang On 2 review for the SG-1000 with Hang On information, Hang On Master System information. Something I did want to point out real quick about the Master System version is I feel like the controls are worse on that one.
I'm with you. I agree.
I don't even know, and that doesn't even make sense to
No,
me.
no, I know what you mean. There's kind of a very sticky, stodgy feel that there wasn't in the SG. It's not as tight.
Yeah, yeah. So, uh, I mean, the graphics are obviously better. For some reason, there's no music, which also doesn't make sense because
No,
it's a cartridge. Like, I, I don't know.
I don't know.
So,
Too many colors, man.
like, yeah, too many colors.
Too many colors. Can't do.
Uh, so needless to say, I like the SG-1000 version just a bit better.
Mm,
Obviously, the arcade is the ideal place to play this, but
yeah,
if you have to play one on a home console, play it on the SG-1000.
that's right. So check out that. Revisit Hang On if you want some Mass System thoughts. In which case, we'll move on to our next game now. The legacy of the SG-1000 will always stick in my mind with the champion games that we all love so much. Various titles from all spectrums of the sporting world that really made you realize that 8-bit sports games suck.
Really,
Really, really
really
suck.
bad.
But
Yeah.
now we're on the Master System, they do actually get a little bit better. And
It's true.
it's true. And we're going to start that tradition off with Great Soccer.
I want to ask, did you notice anything about Great Soccer? Notice anything that maybe you've played before?
No.
Great Soccer is basically Champion Soccer with better graphics and better controls.
Really? Wait, what is it? A port? Is it?
No, I don't think it's a port. I just think
No.
they
Okay,
I
I'm
just
gonna
think
I'm gonna say this because obviously you're an Americano, and
okay.
you've probably not played many soccer games. But I can tell you, for the first probably 20 years that soccer games were around, they look like this: top down, little guy, arrow where the ball's going, so on and so on. This is pretty much the standard of what soccer games look like until probably like 97.
Well, I mean, I don't I like you're right. I haven't played like a ton of soccer games and I
Mm,
wouldn't disagree with that. But really, if you go and and look at Champion Soccer, I mean, it is this. Like the characters don't look
No,
like Muppets anymore.
this
Like,
this works.
right, it works well enough. I mean, for what it is, for sure.
You didn't like this?
It's average.
I thought this was great. And I don't like football, soccer.
I I mean, it's okay. Like,
It
it's not
controls
horrible.
fantastic. What are you on about?
Well, I mean, it controls okay. It's like,
Wow.
I don't know. It's not a poor game. It's just
No, okay.
it's fine. It's mediocre.
Well, I thought this was like a control innovation. I really thought it was fantastic. You can pass the ball, you can shoot the ball, and it goes where you expect it to, which is not what happened in Champion Soccer.
That's very true.
I thought the system of the little arrows over the heads was great. Um, the arrow system is used for many things, including where your pass will go, where your shot will go. When you run up to the goal, a little arrow points like as in where you're going to aim it, and you can move left to right and try and jossie the keeper side to side and get the ball in and shoot. I thought it was really good. I really quite enjoyed it.
That's good. Maybe I just don't. I haven't played enough to really see like, oh, this is a good soccer game versus this isn't.
Yeah.
But
I quite liked it.
it's
I'm not saying it's the
it's
greatest thing ever made, but I thought it was pretty good for what
yeah, it's
for an 85, yeah, 85 soccer game. I thought this was pretty impressive.
yeah, it is what it is. Uh, I should note that I don't care about sports games,
No,
and I never will.
that's pretty
So
apparent.
so yeah, but I will say that I acknowledge like quality when I see it, and this is, to me, this is average, but maybe like you're saying, maybe for 85 this is amazing. I don't know.
It is.
But
I played
okay.
I played games. Oh god, I'm gonna sound like you stupid UK gamer. I've played games on the Amiga from like 92, 93 that are worse than this.
Okay.
This controls for a soccer game. This is very good.
Well, I do mention that you can pick up a controller and start kicking a soccer ball with relative ease, and that's
Yeah.
more than I can say for champion soccer.
That's very
So-
true. You can go up and down. That's about it. And everyone's got green square disease, which they don't have on this.
Oof. Yeah.
No,
The
I thought-
graphics are great. I
Yeah.
will say,
Yeah.
graphics are fantastic. They
Mhm.
look so much better than the early NES sports games.
Yes.
It's
No
amazing.
flicker.
No flicker, and
More than two sprites.
there's like
moving.
there's detail in the faces.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of, yeah, it's impressive.
It's pretty... Maybe this is the secret reason why Brazil liked the Master System so much.
Ah,
We can play soccer on the telly. Brilliant.
great soccer.
Great soccer. Great soccer. Must be fantastic. Let's buy. Brazil. Right. So a few thoughts. We got Kurt 13. Seems like a name should be changed to Great Soccer to kind of just okay soccer. Doesn't have the same snap to it, I guess. No, that's true. Sucked. I really don't care for these Master System great sports titles. Yeah, we must mention the great is basically taking place for champion. So you're gonna get great tennis, great hockey, great everything.
Yeah.
The European 8-bit computers at the time had far better sports games.
Uh-oh.
I don't know about that, so we'll see. Like what? Spectrum? Damn. You ain't played much Spectrum. Right. Then we've got Tony Wilkins. Come on, Tony. Fellow countryman, you got to back me up here. I love 8-bit football. Here we go. Right, this was not planned, I promise. I love 8-bit football. Okay, soccer games. There's such a charm to them compared to the more realistic games like the FIFA series. Games like Great Soccer fit a niche between Subutio. Do you know what Subutio is?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. It's a tabletop football thing. It's really bad. I never got into it.
Okay.
and the true simulation games. So I think Tony's with me. So thanks,
I
Tony.
I will say that I'd rather play Great Soccer any day over more simulation
Yep.
style
Yep.
sports games.
Oh man, how are you going to play those simulation sports?
I I don't even I don't even know.
Wow.
The
Wow.
the whole review is going to be just a picture of me slamming my head into the wall. That's the review.
Oh, I
I
can't
don't
wait.
know.
I can't wait. Right.
Yeah.
Next, you're going to say this game because I can't.
Okay. Fushigi no Oshiro Pitpot. Pitpato.
Pito pato. Um, I'm going to say,
Or
or,
Pitpot the Magical Castle.
that's better. Lovely.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, a B minus. Cool. I must point out to people, I don't usually read these reviews before I do. I always do read every review, but usually after I've played the game. And I played all these games today/yesterday, so I'm just getting around. So B minus. Okay. We'll have an argument in a minute, but okay. So Pit Pop, the magical castle. Now on the box it says the combo cartridge.
Right. Well, in
What's that?
in Europe,
Hmm.
which and I'm assuming you got this as well because you're part of Europe. Astro Warrior slash Pitpot. This is the only way this game was released there.
Right.
It wasn't released on a single card or cartridge by itself. So
Okay.
I didn't review Astro Warrior because that is coming up.
Hmm.
But
So it's basically just two games in one.
right,
Okay.
which the Master System had a lot of in
Hmm.
different
Yeah.
places.
Yeah, it did. So since I defended Great Soccer, you can defend Pit Pot.
Okay. Uh, I liked it. So what it is it kind of is like a dungeon crawler, sort of,
Hmm.
because you collect like treasure and you go into different rooms and you have to make all the treasure appear in the room. Sometimes it's already there when you enter. Sometimes you have to destroy, like you have a hammer, like that's your weapon, which is
Yeah.
kind of weird. And there's like these stone floors, and sometimes you have to destroy them in certain areas for treasure to appear, and then you collect the treasure and then move on. And to beat the game, you have to collect all the treasure specifically across a vial of potion and a ring, and then you'll get to the princess and you beat the game. But if you don't have all the treasure, she will
Flip
turn
out.
her back on you and you will die and you will have to start over. So
Man.
pretty brutal, but that's pretty standard dungeon crawler mentality.
So she literally gives you the death stare.
Oh, she doesn't even bother staring. She just turns her back on you. She's just
Oh
like,
wow.
whatever, get out of my face. And then you die.
Brilliant.
Your ghost sprite ascends into Valhalla or whatever. So it's not, it's simple. It's not like super in depth, but I enjoyed it. What I really thought was pretty forward thinking was that depending on the difficulty you select, it's a completely different map. I thought that
Yeah.
was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was really well done
Yeah.
and totally adds replay value to the game. So yeah, I don't know. I like dungeon crawlers. Maybe I should throw that out there, just like you like old football games.
Well, no, I'm not saying I like them. I say I like that one. Um,
Oh, okay,
and you know
gotcha.
what, Dylan? I like this game too.
Oh, good. I
Oh
thought I thought I was gonna have to defend it. That's
no,
that's
I thought this was pretty cool. I agree wholeheartedly with a B minus, and I put you spot on.
yeah. It definitely feels like a beginner
Yeah,
dungeon crawler.
yeah.
It's not super in depth. It's not really that challenging. You
It's
could
not
beat
very
it.
long.
It's not very long. Even
No,
the harder difficulties aren't that long. But
no.
it's fun, and I like that already Sega is doing something different. with the Master System, because I don't think you could have done this on the SG-1000.
No, no,
Uh,
no.
it's too big.
We had one thought on this, just one comment from Tony again. The plot of this one has a more classic NES feel to it. Dungeons, princesses, etc. I don't think Sega have found its niche this early on. Which is kind of true. I suppose a lot of Nintendo games were Dungeons, Dragons, Princess entailed. And it's true, Sega didn't have many, but I think actually during this next few months slash years, you'll find they had more than you think.
Yeah,
Mm.
I would agree. I would agree with that, because I mean, what is this one just sprung to mind, but like Fatal Labyrinth, isn't that one?
Yeah.
That's like it's kind of like, it's more dungeony, crawly-ish as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. And there's more, I'm sure, that I'm not
Oh,
remembering,
there's
but
lots more. There's lots more.
yeah.
So yeah, good game. Right. Next, guess what? We got another sports game, and apparently
Yeah,
it's
already.
great.
Apparently.
We have great baseball.
Yeah, this was strangely good.
Yeah. Now I agree with this one as well. B plus we gave this, and I agree completely. Now, compared to the travesty that was Champion Baseball, which was pretty terrible,
Terrible.
this is probably the best baseball game I've ever played, and I've played 2. So this is great, and it is great, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And I think why it succeeds is because it plays like Nintendo's baseball, but better. It's Nintendo's baseball had a good foundation, but it some of the AI was spotty, to say the least, and didn't do what you would tell it to do. But this game, and have you played or have you seen screenshots of Nintendo's baseball?
I have played. I'd say I played 3. Then
Okay.
I played Nintendo's baseball. Yeah, I didn't much care
Okay.
for it at all.
Yeah. Well, this game is basically that. I mean, it's not even like Great Soccer was Champion Soccer.
No.
It's not like that. It's like, no, this looks identical to Nintendo's baseball, except slightly better graphics and better AI for sure.
I think that's what I like more about it. It felt like you was playing a game rather than you were just trying to trick a computer.
Yeah, there's a lot of trickery in baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is just really solid. Like you said, it really feels like you're playing a game. It's so fast.
Yeah.
It's like it's really.
I mean, Dylan, it's just this Sega, man. It's just silky smooth fast.
Yeah, it's really good. There's not really much to say. I mean, it's just baseball.
Yeah.
There's no like stats. There's no.
There was some nice sprite work when like you batter. I thought that the sprite for the batters was cool.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, there's some nice work in it. You could tell this was. I mean, probably only took 6 months to make it. I don't know, probably even less. But you can tell the team that made it thought about it. Even maybe with the blue. I mean, I don't. When did baseball for the NES actually come out in Japan?
83.
Right. So they had, good old Sega. They had a blueprint to work from.
Yeah,
So
they definitely did.
So, I mean, they wouldn't have had the code to work from, but you know, they had some inspiration. So yeah, but I really liked it. It ran well, no issues there, which is quite impressive considering how much is going on at certain times.
Yeah.
Compared to the SG, which was just so slow. It was unbelievable. Um, so anyway, some thoughts on Great Baseball. Retro Luke, he's back.
He is. I miss him. I miss his
I
comments.
know we thought he was dead, but obviously not. He might be now. Shouldn't have said that really. Okay, right. Wow. I was scrolling down this article to check the rating first. It's just what I do. Oh, you're one of those guys. But I had to scroll back up again to check I was on the right website when I suddenly saw screenshots of NES Baseball.
I felt so validated when I saw that
Uh,
comment. I was like, okay, good. It's not just me. So,
uh, right, will you read the next one for me? Because I think this is a great comment.
okay. Comment by Azza.
Huzzah!
I've got two unfounded, wildly speculative theories as to why there was no court case. One, in 1985, I'm pretty sure hardware was king in the tech world until Microsoft hit the jackpot with Windows 3 in 1990. Software-based patent wars really started to pick up and become commonplace, at least in the US. Not sure about Japan. Two, given the year, it's entirely possible Nintendo of America execs just didn't know. This is the time where the fastest mode of communication would have been a horrendously expensive phone call. I'm tipping a Japanese only release of a baseball game simply wouldn't have been important enough to make the agenda. I agree with that.
Yep.
Uh, and I also put, I don't think Great Baseball was that popular. I mean, the Mark III wasn't that popular.
No.
So, you know, the few people that played it, unless they had a Famicom
Mm.
and a copy of baseball, they probably didn't know,
Well, you know,
you know.
to be fair, back in the day, it's like if you expect a home console to have like a soccer game and a football game, back in those days, there wasn't many ways you could do it
No.
for a start, you know? So to say, oh, I mean, and on top of that, it's baseball, which is a game, so you can't copyright baseball. You know, if they copied like Mario or something like that and just called him like Joe, another guy jumping up and down collecting mushrooms and stuff, and okay, but it is baseball, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I do want to take issue a little bit with that because the Nintendo probably had about 25 or so baseball games.
Really?
And yeah, no joke. And they were all slightly different.
Right.
Just barely different enough to like get away, I think, with having different like games, but
Mm,
uh I think maybe in 85 that still holds true about, you know,
right.
there probably wasn't many ways you could do it. However, uh it's just funny to me, you know, because it really just it looks just like Nintendo's baseball to me. But um, good for Sega for getting away with it. That's
Yeah.
all I have to say.
And they got away with a lot for a long time.
They sure did.
Yeah. Okay, so next we have a game. Unfortunately, Dylan, I haven't played this.
You're not missing anything. This game is terrible.
And that is Satellite 7.
Yeah,
Hmm. So what is this? It
it's the
looks.
it's the most boring shoot 'em up on the planet.
Oh wait, no, I have played this.
Yeah, okay.
Uh, yeah, this sucked. Yeah. Um, yeah. What Dylan said. It's pretty. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh Christ. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this is bad game. What did you give it?
A
D.
D.
Huh, that's generous.
Well, I gave
Uh,
it a D because it is playable. I mean, you can sit down and play it and try and master it if you really want to, but there's so little going on.
yeah.
And there's nothing like compared even to like great soccer and pit pot and stuff like that. This feels like it was in development for the SG-1000 and
Yeah.
then they bumped it to the Master System.
Hmm.
That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's even got the Sega bar.
the Sega bar.
Yeah, down the
What do you
side.
mean?
Down the side, it's
On
got
the
the
yeah,
score. Yeah, it's
on the
like,
right hand
yeah,
side. Yeah,
yeah. How
yeah.
many times do we see that in an SG 1000 game? All of them. So it's like,
All of them.
yeah.
Yeah, that's very
I
true.
think you're probably right there, linking it to the SG. Looking at that, I would agree.
Yeah, and it just I mean I don't know why they bothered.
Mm,
Maybe they figured the game, the system needed to shoot 'em up, but
yeah.
it just is it's bad. It's not okay, I'll explain a little bit, I guess. The only Just imagine any traditional vertical shoot 'em up. The only thing that separates Satellite 7 from any of those are the stars that just randomly appear uh just kind of different times, and they're different colors, and if you collect 5 stars of any certain color, you get a little upgrade to your ship, whether it's increased speed or
Yeah.
stronger firepower, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Um, the thing is, okay, so that's a neat idea. The thing is that I don't know about you, Sam, but I felt like it didn't really help. like
Well,
like
it's
I would
funny
get these
you
upgrades.
were saying that, and I was thinking, did I get an upgrade? Don't remember. So yeah, I don't really feel it gave you anything.
Yeah, the fact that you have to collect 5 stars, that they come out so infrequently, and then when you actually get 5 stars to keep your upgrades, which do very little, if you die, that's, I mean, they
That's it.
mostly disappear.
Yeah.
So then
Uh,
you have to collect them again. I don't know. It's just, and I think it's telling that Sega was like, you know what, we're just gonna keep this one in Japan. They didn't even bother bringing it
yeah. Yeah.
outside of Japan.
No.
So
Okay. So we're going to move on now to our last game today, which is Transbot.
Transbot did see a release everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not very good either.
Excuse me?
Well, okay, it's better than Orgus.
C plus.
Remember Orgus?
Yeah, I remember August. August was great. For an SG 1000 1983 game,
Yeah.
it was great. How can you give this a C plus? It's
What
got
would you give it? What would you give it?
it's got robots. It's got mechs
It's
with legs. Look, that's Metal Gear Solid. Look at that's Metal Gear 4. Look, right there. 25 years earlier or whatever the hell it is. This game
I
is
don't
the
know.
future.
No.
The geckos. MGS4. Last screenshot.
Nah.
Yeah. Look, last screenshot. Look. Come on.
It's Star Wars, man.
No, oh, we're getting into that one, are we? Okay. This was great. You could turn into a robot.
You know what it could have used?
What?
You know what it could have used?
Music?
More than 2 levels. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you see,
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun for the 2 levels, and then the game repeats, and you're like, "Oh wait, I thought I was playing a Master System game, not SG 1000 piece of crap."
But it looks really good.
Maybe that's where all their budget went.
Maybe.
I agree. No, I mean, I agree. You look at the background in the first level where you're in this weird futuristic like city or something.
Yeah.
And reminds me of something like Robotnik would build in the early Sonic game.
Yeah.
Like it looks really cool, and the game itself is not bad. I actually enjoyed it from what I played.
You just want a bit more.
I just wanted more, and it was so much better than Orgus. Oh my gosh.
Well, of course it's better than August. It's like 3 years on new hardware. Of course it's going to be a bit better.
Well, you would think so, but Satellite 7 wasn't better than some of those
But you
SG-1000s.
say it was so much better than August, but you only like August was a C minus and this was a C plus. So
Yeah, the only reason this got a C plus is because of the lack of content,
right,
which is more inexcusable in 1985 than it was in 1983, I think.
yeah,
So,
yeah. No, I can't agree. C plus is probably okay. I find it really hard to gauge like
well, everyone has their
how you no how you score games. Like you say, oh, it's a C plus, but you're like, oh yeah, there wasn't much to it, and like C plus is supposed to be like, yeah, it was okay. Not, oh yeah, it's a bit crap, really. That's like a D.
nah, a C is average, right? If we're going for average, a C is average.
Okay.
And see, it's like when you go on modern gaming sites and it's like they have a 10 out of 10 review scale and they rate a game a 7 and people freak out because they're
Yeah,
like, "Oh, you hated
I
this game." It's like a
hate
7
that.
out, 7 out of 10 is not a horrible score. Uh
It's weird because I
but
don't think I think that is really like a last 6 7 year thing. Because I can remember back in the day, like PS1, mate, I bought so many games that were like a 7 and an 8,
right, and they were
so
fun,
many,
right?
and they were great.
Yeah.
And nowadays, people literally do not buy anything unless it's a 9.
Well, and a lot of the games they rate 9s are games that
That
I
are
don't
not
care for
9s, no.
anyway.
The Bouncer
So,
was a 6, and I still bought it.
well, that was when Square Enix had such clout that you would buy that most
Yeah,
people would buy anything they had their name on.
Square can't possibly be bad.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, they
They,
would prove us wrong in the next decade. Yeah.
oh, can you remember that when Square was good?
Square was golden. Everything they put out
It was
was
awesome.
it was almost like Atlas now. Like everything
Oh
Atlas
no,
puts out
come on.
is
Square was
solid.
no. Square was
Well,
much better than ours.
I should say everything Atlas develops is solid.
Okay,
Not everything they
That's better.
publish.
That's better.
Yeah.
No, I tell you what though, that Final Fantasy 15, that looks nice.
You know what it is? It's like Final Fantasy is you remember when you were a kid
Mm.
and your dad would buy you a chocolate bar or something and because you're a kid and you're excited about life in general, you're like, "Oh boy, a candy bar." And then you get it open, you eat it and you're just like, "Oh man, this is so good. I've never had anything this good." Final Fantasy 15 is trying to replicate that type of experience. Like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, this game looks really good. It's going to be really good." And then you open the chocolate bar and you're like, this is okay. I've had this before. I'm 30 years old now. It's the That's the best analogy I've ever heard for anything ever. Uh, so
I think
I just want to.
they're changing enough in 15 to be good.
Okay. I
Do
I
you
have
like
no
Final
faith.
Fantasy?
I have no faith in Final Fantasy
I've
anymore.
never really asked you. I know you have no faith. I have no faith in it. I just pray this is going to be okay. But
The last game I enjoyed was 9. That should
right,
tell you where I'm at
okay.
with the series.
Which is probably about where 80% of people are.
A lot of people like 10 and a lot of people like 12.
I liked
I
10 until I realized it was crap. And then I
well
was
then.
like, hang on a minute. Where's the overworld? What's going on? I'm just going down a freaking corridor.
Blitzball, guys,
Ah,
Blitzball.
oh no. No.
Uh,
I spent half an hour in Blitzball just looking for a way out.
ooh,
I was I,
that's
wa- I was in the walkthrough. I was in the manual. I was ringing my friend. I was like, dude, what combination of buttons do I have to press here to like exit out? They can't be making me play this game. They can't. There's always a way out of these mini games, you know. What is it? And there wasn't. You had to play that first game, and it took forever. Blitzball.
but they were
Blitzball.
Square and they could do no wrong. See, they wouldn't do that now.
No, that
They
was
were
that was. I've never beaten 10. I couldn't.
Yeah,
do
I
it.
never
I couldn't do
never
it.
did it
I was
either.
just like, man, this is bad. Bad game.
Yeah. Bad game.
Bad game.
So 15, we'll see. We'll see how that goes, but that's 2014. I don't even know, or 2015 rather.
No, that's
supposedly.
That's 2016.
That's 2020. That's going to be like PS5, PS6.
Mark my words, February 2016. We will get
Okay.
a demo.
All right. You know what? You know what? We're still going to be doing this podcast then.
Yeah, we'll be here.
So we're gonna mark that.
Why
Okay.
Why have they remade Type 0?
Why did they do it?
Yeah.
I don't. Dude, you're asking the wrong guy there. I don't know why they do what they do.
Final Fantasy.
I just know about Transbot and
Transbot.
transforming.
Transbot is better than Final Fantasy X.
I agree.
It is.
Yeah.
It's better than Blitzball. August is
should
better than
be-
Blitzball.
That should be the name of this podcast.
What's that?
Episode 12, Transbot is better than Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
let's do it.
must have been made by like what, 2.5 guys in like 10 days. Like Final Fantasy X was like, what was it, like a $60 million budget or something like that? It was the
I want to meet that half guy though,
yeah
because he did a great job.
yeah.
Um,
He came up with the
Yeah.
bot idea.
yeah. Yeah, Final Fantasy X was what, 60 million, like
It
you
was
said.
something like that. It was like 400 people on staff, 3 years in the making, all voice acted, and it's like, no, you're not better than Transbot.
A Blitzball development team
Apparently
just for
they had
Blitzball.
15 people on the Blitzball development team.
Is that true, or are you just
Yep,
throwing
no,
numbers
that's
out there?
true. I read it in a Final Fantasy X making of 16-page spread, and I think it was even in the official PlayStation magazine.
Ooh, 15
15 people to come up with the concept, design, rules, and overall look and feel, and obviously programming of Blitzball. They had 15 people, and that's the best they could do. You give me a stick and a dead pigeon, and I could come up with a better game than Blitzball.
Well, the stick and the dead pigeon basically sells itself, whereas
What could it be?
Blitzball, yeah, what could it be? The mystery. Yeah. Well, I think we've destroyed Square Enix enough for today.
But they were so good.
I know. It's sad. It's not even like, people say, oh, Nintendo is better 20 years ago. And there's some merit to that, but they're still a fantastic development company.
Yeah.
But Square Enix, they were better 20 years ago.
I think every episode we've got to talk about something different now. We talked about Last of Us last episode. Now we're going to talk about Square in this episode. We've got to do something every time.
This will eventually become the Two Dudes podcast. With
Games
Sega
are better
games.
in my day.
Yeah. I'm not old enough to be crotchety yet.
We've been playing games long enough.
That's true.
Too
My
long.
entire life, basically. Yeah. All right. Oh, Sean697 actually has played Transbot. So
He plays quite a lot.
right, but
He
I think
plays
he
really
played
bad games like Last of Us and Final Fantasy X as well.
it.
So I've heard.
He actually played this, I believe, when he had his Master System.
Oh wow. That's so
yeah.
cool.
So I think as previously mentioned, this game was very disappointing to me. The promise of Robotech-like transforming jets and nice graphics fell to the fact that there really wasn't much game to be found here. That's very true. Criminally short and repetitive. This is the game everyone always wanted to play on my Master System, then never wanted to play again.
Oh. You want to try playing Blitzball?
Blitzball. No. I don't even want to play that once. Well, I have, but I mean, I don't want to even think about it ever again. So.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Dylan, guess what I found the other day?
What did you find?
I found that the Sega Does podcast has an iTunes review.
Oh, snap.
Ah, you already knew? Damn it.
Kinda.
Okay. So, thank you to Wonderboy the Third.
Snap.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play Wonder Boys, by the way. Really excited to play those games.
Didn't they do one on the SG?
They did. We'll be playing that very soon.
Ow.
Gotta be bad.
Anyway, so the review, thank you, Wonderboy. It says, great podcast for all retro and gaming enthusiasts. I love their previous show, Pixel Dojo. The what? I never heard of that. Listen to it constantly, and this new show came as a good, long-awaited replacement/update. Can't wait for next episode and finally get into the Master System games. Well, as a tribute to Wonderboy, we are now in the Master System, so I hope you enjoy.
Woohoo!
Woo! So thank you, and to all those people out there who like us, give us a review, iTunes, wherever you find it. It just all helps spread it all around the interwebs.
Yeah, people like to read less and listen and watch more.
Yeah.
So for those people who would never think of reading all my reviews, this podcast is it's a definite supplement to the site, and in some ways better, depending on who
In some
you
ways
ask.
better.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, there's more.
No, I want to hear this point.
There's goofiness and variety that you can only get with two guys talking, whereas when I'm just talking to myself, rambling, writing, it's fun for me, and I hope it's fun for people to read. But I'm sure for most people, the podcast is where it's at, which is fine. I'm okay with that as long as they come to the site. I'm okay with that.
So if you come to the site, leave us some comments. All the games are on the podcast page. What you thought of the games, what you thought of the podcast, what you'd like to see, things you agree with, things you disagree with, all those kind of lovely ideas. Let us all know. We're getting quite a nice little fan base going up now. We love hearing from you guys, and as of now, we have still mentioning every single comment that we get comment, which is quite rare apparently. From people that I've been talking to, they do like the fact we mention all the comments, which we don't mind doing because it gives a nice warm feeling.
Gives more viewpoints as well. Yeah. I think.
And I want to have like a special thing I ask people to mention in the comments for each episode. I think that's fun. So for this week, I want to know what you all thought about Blitzball.
Blitzball, yes.
Blitzball. What do we think? Last week was The Last of Us. Now I want to know what you think of Blitzball. So let me know. I want to know.
And I don't want to think about Blitzball, but I will read your comments, so please leave them.
Blitzball. Could have been so good. No.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Okay. So we'll see you all next time. Next time, what have we got? We've got some F-16 fighter. We've got some Super Tennis. Got some... Oh no.
And we delved back into the SG-1000.
And then we're back, aren't we? Oh, Jesus. We were so close to Ghost House.
Yeah, but we're almost done.
What else have we got down there? Let's have a look down this list. High School... I can't say that right. Space Harrier. That is the worst version of Space Harrier in the world. I thought my Master System was broken.
Spoilers.
What else we got? Kung Fu Kid. That's not bad. Penguin Land. Again, that's not bad. Maze Hunter 3D. Oh yeah. What else we got? We need something with an X in it. It's got to be something with an X in it. Come on. BMX? No. Quite a way until we get to Phantasy Star.
I know.
Oh well.
Kind of bummed about that.
Yeah.
Kind of want to play it like today.
Yeah. I've never played it ever,
but
so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. No, I've started to play it, but I never. Yeah, I started it because I had the Phantasy Star collection on the Game Boy Advance at one point, and started to play it there. And I was like 10 years ago, and I just didn't have the patience for it. But now I'm older and I like those style of games more now, I think,
Yeah.
than I did back in the day. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay. So we'll see you all next time. Say goodbye, Dylan.
Goodbye, Sega.
Sega.